Hey guys, it's your humble host, or Kayla if you prefer, so I'm back with another video. I am trying to do this as best I can without rambling. This is take 3. I wanted to give my own thoughts and kind of vent a little bit about a particular situation that's come about. I am nowhere a part of it, but it came across my desk, and it's a continuation of a situation that happened about 2 years ago, which I was a part of that one too. So for those of you who are not familiar with this particular YouTuber and his channel he had back in Tonka Saw and the Kumite, for anyone who doesn't know or remember what that channel was about, the Kumite was a channel to where you can air your grievances with other YouTubers, and this particular channel was able to pull on some of the big ones. You had Ethan Von Schaefer, you had, I want to say, even Sargon at one point. You had Mr. Medicure. You had No Bullshit. You had a variety of YouTubers, both big and small, when it first started, come on and just kind of air their stuff. I was a guest on the Kumite here and there, and there was one particular stream to which Kumite at one point actually kind of did me a favor. Well, not kind of, but really did me a big favor, was with the Daddy-O5 stuff, where we actually found out everything that had happened. So with the Daddy-O5 stuff, because I've talked about it on and off of my channel, and just that is a freaking black spot on my channel and will forever be. That was such an unholy mess. Gist of it was that went on for like a year or so, and it got to the point where me and another YouTuber, Joy Sparkle BS, were at each other's throats for a full year. People thought Joy was going after me maliciously. I had YouTubers that I spoke with thought I was doing Joy dirty on purpose just to get rid of her. So, but with the Kumite, everything came out. And that was a 7-hour stream to our Nick Monroe. We had Melinda was the lady's name at the time. She long fucked off. Anyway, so after everything got aired out, a lot of people understood the truth and what had happened with that. So that was a really big thing that the Kumite did. Because you had Tonka Saw, Vamp King, and a few others making comments on the mom, which I didn't understand at the time. Anyway, so in that regard, the Kumite and Tonka Saw had earned my respect greatly, because it's like, oh, wow, you actually helped me clear my name, in a sense, helped Joy clear her name, and everything pretty much scared out, and the real freaking shitheads were either run off or fucked up on their own. So, anyway, after that, I continued to follow the Kumite and kind of watch it. And then there was a situation I started to become more wrapped up in, kind of pulling me away from the Kumite stuff. And that was the SaveJames. So, but a little bit before that happened, I had in between a few debate streams. They were on abortion. One particular stream was with Vamp Candy in regards to prostitution and sex work. And it was at that point in time to where I was really vocal on my Twitter about certain stuff, because there was quite a few stuff circulating to where you had people going out of the way to encourage young women and girls to be prostitutes or sex workers, which was like freaking abhorrent. And then I got attacked viciously about from a bunch of people in regards to this. So there was a few things that had happened in between the Kumite stream with the Daddy-O5 and the first signs of the fallout with Tonka Saw. And I can't really pinpoint from there to here as to why he started to really act nasty toward me. Let me explain. So a few streams back, I want to say 2 to 3 months ago, because there was a small situation with another YouTuber called Johnny Fox, and to where I tried out Johnny Fox and me used to talk, and so I, hey, you know what, he's going to help me out, so let me see if I can kind of help him out with whatever. So turns out there was some stupid done. And I tried to give, I guess, my point of view because I was a wireless specialist at the time, and I dealt with emails and cell phones and social media, whatever. So during that particular stream, and I do not have the title of it, Tonka tried to come out and say I accused him of sexually harassing me or practically me tooing him or trying to me too him. This is far from the case. There's a situation he's referring to that I had kept my mouth shut about it because it was really freaking embarrassing. And there is about 3 people who know the entirety of that. Well, actually, no, there's more than 3 people. 3 people that I have spoken with. One of them who was there in the audience, the other person who was in the actual live stream when it was going on and afterwards, and the third person who came to inquire me about it like 2 months after it happened. So pretty much here's a situation that Tonka saw, wanted to try to twist and accuse me of me going after him. So it was, and I have the Google Hangouts, I have the DMs, I held on to all of this. It was November 5th of 2018, to where this was before the cunt stream was hacked and renamed Bayfish Pics. And I can't remember what the stream was about, but I was part of it. You had Schmeckel, you had Brockus, you had In Social Justice Warrior, you had Tonka Saw, you had Schmeckel, and then you had another one in there, and I don't quite remember her name. But anyway, so during the stream, Tonka Saw started to make some really offhanded remarks about my love life or lack of whatever. So it was really below the belt comments. And there was a really weird thing that kind of happened for during the defunct anti-SJW community, because it's now like separated and died. But for some odd reason, because this also played into it, and for the life of me, I don't know why, and people got a little bit creepy with it, there was a fascination with my sex life. I had a lot of people make jokes about it, whether it be on stream or Twitter, or just because I was woke about certain things. I'm anti-porn, I'm anti-prostitution, I'm very much traditional, so this got me a lot of people's ire. I was against posting nude photos online, against the showing your body online in that sort of way. So this got me a lot of ire from a lot of people, including Tonka. So anyway, during this particular stream, as I said, he started to make these really offhanded, nasty remarks. And it was really getting to me because I had just dealt with a bunch of freaking gay porn stars, prostitutes, and other people attacking me on Twitter because how dare I say something that contradicts their lifestyle or counterpoints what they're doing. So anyway, after said stream, because it got much worse after stream, because we had an after call, is I pretty much got cornered and asked why I was a particular way, why I was repressed. So because I was dealing with a lot at the time, and I had just come from this big ass Twitter fight and this other freaking bullshit with these dumbasses. I kind of broke down, and I didn't give details. For those of you who have been around my channel, I don't have exact memories, but I have various pieces and other things which kind of point to what had happened with me. Anyway, so I broke down and gave him the gist, and it got very awkward because it was to the point to where the last person to remain in that call and to make sure I was okay was In Social Justice Warrior. Tonka, after I broke down, got really quiet and just fucked off. Didn't say sorry, didn't say anything, just fucked off. Smeckle was too drunk to even remember the conversation. Everyone else just got real quiet, and a lot of them left. There was another one. He had his avatar was a skeleton playing a trumpet, and I can't remember what his name is, but he did ask if I was okay before leaving. So I didn't say anything about the situation to anybody outside of In Social Justice Warrior, who was there when we had a talk like an hour after everyone else left. And then one of my followers, Loyal Logic, who was in the audience watching, he got so pissed about the way I was getting treated, he left because we talked about it later. So those are the only two people I really said anything to. I didn't go to Schmeckel. I didn't go to Brockus. Oh, that was what the dude's name, Lionel. I didn't go to Lionel. I didn't go to the other woman that was in there. I didn't even go to Tonka Saw about it. I stuffed it because it was so fucking embarrassing. And so, cut to 2 months later, where you have January 2019, and I will show you the DMs because I went and OBS'd it, I recorded it with OBS, and I'm gonna keep the person's name clipped up because I don't think they want to get named. Because they did their own video on Tonka Saw and his bullshit with the pay-per-view fight with Andy Worski, and that was a whole freaking clusterfuck, and that was the other reason why Takasaw got mad at me, because I was digging into that. Anyway, so cut to this person approaching me January 2019 as the Kumite was imploding and the stuff with Pro South and Tara La Rosa, who was a wrestler who's involved in this crap too, pretty much inquired me what happened during the particular stream. And as you will see in the DMs, I was actually quite surprised this person knew about this, and I had asked him, who came to you? And he goes, you know what, this person doesn't want to be named, but told me to come talk to you. And I'll play the DMs with a little bit of music. So, as you can see, in those DMs, I never spoke about this with anyone else, and I was quite shocked this person knew about it. And after I had explained what had happened, he said, you know what? I'm not going to put this in my video, but this gives me a better idea of how Tonka Saw really is. So that was that situation that Tonka Saw tried to take and twist and saying, oh, well, Chambers said I sexually harassed her, or pretty much she tried to me to me, which is total and utter bullshit. So he tries very much and tried to make himself to be the victim of this, and it's like, I never went after you. It was so fucking embarrassing. I kept my mouth shut about it. I don't know how many people knew about it or know about it prior to my video making it public. I have no idea how many people know about the after call. The after call wasn't recorded, but again, anyway, so cut to the stuff that's going on now with him. And this is why I'm kind of upset because of other stuff I'm involved with, like the SaveJames and other custody cases that I've been involved with. Let me just reiterate, as I've said so many times on my channel, I'm a nobody. I'm nobody big. Obviously, you can see that YouTube has been freaking bleeding me because my lack of inactivity again, and yeah, you guys know what I'm trying to say. I'm no one special. So when it comes to situations, no. I help out where I can, if I'm able to, if I'm even supposed to. If not, I shut my mouth and go away. Anyway, so with that being said, is the stuff that's coming about Tonka-san now. I stay away from the Kumite. I have one clip on my channel from his new Tonki time, and it had to do with Suit Yourself, because that came across my desk. I'm like, what is all this bullshit? So there was a clip of that situation, and then in response, somebody had posted a link in the description to another thing that's unfolding to give you the gist of that. So it's a clip from a stream by a YouTuber called Nightbeast. So Nightbeast, just a brief explanation of how he started to cover this particular situation, was he had a bunch of court documents started to get dumped in his Discord, redacted, mind you. And they're from the state of Alabama, the family courts. So, who do these court docs mention, and who do they belong to? Tonka. So, what they reveal, because there's also a Facebook post he talked about too, Tonka has 3 kids, and it has been hiding from them. He's backed up on child support. He has gone out of his way to hide his income, and that was another thing. For those of you who remember the situation with Tim Loy and the freaking crap that had happened, because Tim Loy had pretty much said that Tonka had disqualified himself to a point because he got someone else's blood work, and that Tonka had signed himself up underneath a different name. Now, it wasn't revealed how that confusion came about, but couple of us, including myself, went to Tim Loy saying, what happened? Why are you saying this? Because Tonka tried to make it to go, oh, well, Tim Loy's lying. He didn't want me to fight. The fight was rigged or whatnot against me. And the whole thing was stupid to begin with. But Tonka opened his mouth and he could kick Andy's ass. And Andy's like, you didn't even show. So there's a little bit more of an explanation for that in regard to the confusion of the identities, and I do believe that Nightbeast goes a little bit into that as well. So pretty much in the state of Alabama, if you do not pay your child support, the way that they encourage you to pay it is by taking away your driver's license. So things started to float around about how Tonka couldn't drive, and everyone had to come pick him up. And granted, Nightbeast stream is the first I ever heard any of the mentions of that, because again, I'm not around the Kumite. I'm not around any of those people. A lot of those people don't care for what I say. I don't care either. If you are following a fraud around and taking whatever he says is gospel truth, you got more problems than I do. Just saying. But anyway, so he has a family that he is running from. Now, here's the thing, because I want to put this out there too. So I am not stupid when it comes to court documents. I know 100% for a fact they do not show the entirety of what transpired, of what was recorded, as perfect example with the SaveJames stuff. A lot of what's claimed in the court documents is total bullshit, because me personally, as I've said, I've met Jeff, I've met the boys. There's evidence that proves a lot of what's in the court documents is total nonsense, and is nothing that is being pushed, or is everything that's being pushed by Anne and her freaking wacky wannabe legal team, Jessica Jancic of Coonsviller. So that is an example of the court docs not portraying everything, if anything, twisting it. I can base it off of Jeff's behavior, what I've seen from his supporters, what I've seen of photo evidence, and things like that. So that's just one example. Now, when it comes to Tonka case, because he was also accused of some messed up shit. Again, innocent until proven guilty. But, there is a but. I can go on a limb and go, you know what? I can believe, or I'm very led to believe, that this stuff happened because the way that Tonka has treated other people, the way that he has come after other people, including me, and how much shit has come out of this dude's mouth. And when I first started to learn about the court stuff. Granted, this was a few days ago. I'm not going to get involved. I don't. Fuck no. This is my only video on this crap, but I wanted to vent. I legitimately became upset. Particularly because what he's doing to his kids, my bio mom did to me, where she hid from us, which I think you're a total piece of shit for it. And then it just the amount of just I want to say lashing out. A lot of people got lashed out for whatever reason. Adonis Paul was one of them. I was one of them. I mean, the list goes freaking on, man. And it just seems, and I'm going to point this out to you, and I may sound like a feminist for like 5 seconds here, but bear with me. A lot of the people that have tried to come after me, and they've been mostly guys, believe it or not. I don't have a lot of fights with other female YouTubers or other females or women online. I really don't. Those fights are few and far between, but a lot of the shit I have gotten has been from other online men or YouTubers who are guys. And every single time, because this has happened, I'm noticing a pattern. Every single time this has happened, something later comes out, maybe a year or so down the road, where they're a piece of shit, or they did something really freaking scummy, and I can look back and go, red flags were there. I didn't see them because I wasn't digging around. Didn't want to. So that's something I've noticed too. And it's not Blowish Chambers, but it's just like, it was pretty interesting when I picked up on it. But as I said, I'm not touching the Tonka sauce stuff up. I'm really not. It just, God, I don't need my head in another fucking case, and I don't want to. I don't. But at the same time, the pattern repeats itself, to where I had a guy who tried to fucking drag me over bullshit that I really didn't do, and accused me of all kinds of stuff, and turns out he's a colossal scumbag. Go figure. And something else I want to point out to you, because I'm not going to hit below the belt. There's people who are now mocking Tonka for not making a child support and things like that. I'm not going to do that. As I said, I know very well that family court is a very nasty business. Court documents don't show the full story. What's being pushed by lawyers and judges can tell a completely different story than what's actually happening. Case in point, SaveJames. But at the same time, for those of you who remember what else came out when 8chan, before it got nuked and became 8kun, there was a big old huge thread on Internet Blood Sports in the Kumite. And what had come out, particularly about Tonka's father, was that he was a convicted rapist, a child rapist. So the reason why I'm bringing that up, because that is a hard thing to deal with when you have a parent that turns into a freaking monster for whatever reason, past struggles, undealt with stuff, just whatever. I have a monster of a parent myself, my bio mom. But she was a monster at the time, so I'm sorry, it is what it is. But so that's a hard thing to deal with, and one of the things that a lot of children struggle with, and it's not really talked about, but I wanted to kind of pass on something that I've learned. It is a very hard struggle when you look very much alike this parent, and it's with the same sex parent, so like mother, daughter, father, son. And it's a little bit of a different struggle when you have son, mother, or father, daughter. It's a little bit different. So anyway, getting back to what I was saying. So when you have your same-sex parent, which if you're a son and your father ends up being a monster, or if you're a daughter and your mom ends up being a monster, it's very hard to where when you look like them and when you're told, oh, hey, you're just acting like your mother, and you struggle with your self-image a lot. And there comes a bunch where, am I going to repeat the same thing my father and mother did? Am I going to do this? Am I going to do that? So I don't want to cross any boundaries, because when the stuff came out about Tonka's father, A lot of people, like, you have the joke, Daddy, no. Like, yeah, that's really below the belt. It was a joke I personally did not make, and I always kind of cringed when I saw people do it, because, like, oh man, no, that's not even funny. Um, anyway, so there comes a lot of struggles dealing with that. And you can either face that struggle and really sit down and go, hey, you know what? I don't want to portray this. I want to do things differently. Or you can let yourself fall into the same type of patterns, not address the behavior, and continue the same fucked up legacies your parents gave you. And that's kind of what's happening with Tonka Saw. And what's really disturbing, because I tried to reason with her. I tried to talk with her, and granted, I had no idea what was going on at the time. Nobody knew any of this during the implosion of the Kubite. Nobody. I don't even know how this person who started to dump all these court docs in Nightbeast's Discord, I don't even know how they went about finding this stuff. Um, but when it comes to Vamp Candy, because there's stuff that came out about her as well during this big 8-coon thread, and I'm not going to touch upon any of that as well because it's not my business. I'm not close to her. That's not even my place to say anything on. But I will say one thing here, because there was multiple times when this stuff was coming out about Tonka Saw, like the wrestling and how there was particular rumors floating around. I won't repeat them here because I have no evidence for them. So, but I had remember going to Vamp Candy quite a few times. This was publicly, so I didn't hide this stuff. I said this stuff publicly, which really made her mad. But I had pretty much told her in a nutshell, I'm like, Vamp, you could do better. You're supporting a guy who's a fraud, who goes out of his way to shit on people, yet ends up being a colossal piece of shit himself. And I said it a little bit more elegantly than that, and I pretty much told her, I really hope you find someone that really values you. Now that this stuff has come out, I'm going to say the same thing again, but I'm going to add a little bit more iteration. Now, it's one thing to be with someone and help them through their struggles, and you can only help to a certain point. But granted, if they actually want to deal with said struggles. So if it was to the point to where Tonka went, you know what, yeah, I did do this to my kids. I'm working on it, though. I have some personal stuff I need to deal with before I can tackle this and mend those relationships with my children. And Vamp Candy supporting that. That'd be one thing. But I don't see how you can stand by a guy, a man who, or wannabe man, who shits on everybody around him, who questions him, and goes out of his way to neglect, abandon, and hide from his family. I cannot wrap my brain as to why you would want to support someone like that. Again, it'd be one thing if he was struggling with personal issues to go, hey, you know what? I need you to stand by me as my significant other. I want to mend this relationship with my children, with their mother, because I feel it's important. I don't want to do the same legacy that my father left me. And let me reiterate, I'm not saying Tonka is destined to be a rapist. That's not what I'm saying at all. But there's a legacy of neglect and other stuff, and I don't want to dig into it. It's not my freaking business. But I am going to reiterate what I've told Vamp Candy several times before. You really need to find someone that will truly value you. Because if he doesn't value his family, and I'm going to say this publicly, because I feel like I do have grounds to do so. If he doesn't value his family, how the freaking hell do you think he truly values you? Like, I don't, and again, I can't remember if I said it in this take or the second one, because this was something I noticed too. So, when Tonka Saw had accused me, said via stream, of me trying to Me Too him, or said that I claimed and told everybody he tried to sexually harass me, which was quite the opposite, as I kept my mouth shut about that entire situation. So the fact they even said it on stream tells me that a lot more people know about it, or knew about it, and I had no freaking idea. I had no one else come to me about it, though. Anyway, during that stream, I had started to notice, and I had seen what all these girls looked like. You had Blossom, and you had two other ones. And they, in my opinion, and I'm sure I'm not the only one that has noticed this, closely resemble Vamp Candy. The same slender face, they look very thin. I'm not making fun of Vamp's looks, don't think I'm doing that. I'm just a description. All of these girls at the time of the stream had a very similar look to Vamp Candy. And it's very weird, and I picked up on it, and I'm sure I'm not the only one, but that's something I've noticed too. And so, again, not trying to cross any boundaries, but Vamp, you could do better. You can really do better. And I really don't want to say anymore because this has gone on for like half an hour, but I wanted to air some things out because the way I particularly got treated, and I know there's a lot of people who got lied about, who got freaking blasted, ran off, mistreated, by Tonka, and to have this stuff come out later, fucking yikes. I mean, it explains a lot, but my goodness, I don't want to put the word abuser on there. I really don't. Because I can't prove or deny the stuff he's getting accused of by his former significant other. I'm not a listen and believe type person, especially when it comes to those type of things, because I've seen too many people get wrongfully accused and have their lives completely destroyed, only for the truth to come out a decade later and it be too late to recover anything. So I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to contradict myself because I'm upset. But at the same time, the way you have treated other people, Tonka has been shit and are behaviors of an abuser. Anybody who questions your narrative, the way that you speak about things, does get verbally abused. If not freaking just harassed on YouTube or Twitter. There's quite a few people that you have freaking trashed for no fucking reason other than the reason of just questioning your narrative. And I don't understand how you're able to hold on to the woman you have. I really don't. I don't understand that. If I had a guy, and I'm married, I've been married for over 7 years, but if I found out, and I'm not saying this is the case with my husband, but if I found out my husband was doing the shit you were doing and had a family that he was purposely running from, and no, there would be some come to Jesus meetings or we're done. I can't stand men like that. I have no respect. Well, they're not even a man. You're a wannabe guy, or you're parading around with a lot of bravado. Just saying. So anyway, I'm done here. I'm going to put the links in the description. You have Night Beast. You have the Google Drive for the Daddy of 5 stuff to show what I'm talking about. You have my By the Hearth stream about the wrestling stuff, and there's still videos, way many videos floating around. What else? There was one more video I wanted to put in, and I don't remember what it was. Anyway, if I do, I'll put it in the description. I'm not going to monetize this because of some of the content that's talked about or the context. But anyway, this is my last video on the matter. I just wanted to air some stuff out because, oh my god, man, just... Anyway, you guys have a good one, and I might see you soon. If not, I'm going to go back to my busy work schedule.